Fife Flyers TV, sponsored by the Bay Hotel, Fife's premier wedding venue.
How was that for you tonight, Todd?
At least it confirms that I'm not going insane. That's the team that we know that we have that potential. We just have that potential. I think I'm probably more frustrated. I'm very happy for the guys, extremely happy. They needed it, but I think it's fair to say they earned it tonight. And it proves that we needn't be in this position, especially that we're capable of those efforts. And you really start to question yourself, but when you're in these situations. But I think that when you look at how we played tonight, and then the instant atmosphere that you've seen in the building, they do go hand in hand. That's a Fife team that we should be watching on a regular basis.
Do you think the guys were successful tonight in actually getting under the skin of Sheffield? I think that was an important thing tonight.
No, it wasn't even the game plan. It was just about playing hard on the puck, as we've seen teams do against us many times this season. It'll get dissected and everybody will have an opinion on it. There's 100%. There was zero system changes. There was nothing changed tonight other than the engagement level and the effort level, and that's an important point to make.
So how do you keep that up for the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, it's a personal pride thing, and we talked about that before the game. We do a lot of our talks and everything privately, other than me speaking in your interview or the odd player that gets grabbed to speak. And guys will come here and say the right things in front of the camera and stuff, but ultimately it's done behind closed doors. I think this week the organization took some positive steps in the right direction. I think that the meeting with the directors to assure the fans that they will have a team here next year, and the Fife Flyers have no plans to go anywhere, as well as that there's improvements to be made, in all areas of our organization. I think that's a good positive step forward. I think from a playing side wise, really over the last 2 weeks, I think we have 5 points from 4 games. That's a significant change from the 2 months previous. Monumental in terms of what was the negative spin that we were on. So, I think that the guys recognize that, and it's a little bit of self-belief as well.
Obviously, that's kind of off ice at the moment, but that the forum on Tuesday, is there anything that you personally could take from that as well?
No, I mean, I have a pretty good relationship with my bosses. I know where they stand on these issues and the challenges that we face on a daily basis. But I think that we have to remember that this is a community. Well, I've said this to you many times. This is a community. It's important. I come from a city that lost their team for a number of years, and I saw the response after the team left, and it was a shock. And how could we let this happen? And we can never let this happen again. I would hate for that to happen to this community. I sometimes it's easy when something's been around so long and just kind of ticks over what people perceive in the background. It gets taken for granted. We know this hasn't been a successful year in terms of a Fife Flyers team that we're accustomed to watching, and that unfortunately can happen in sports. But I would never want us to be in a position where this community is affected by not having a top-notch sports team in it.
Back to on ice. We're moving on to obviously play Cardiff on Wednesday night away down there, and then again probably a massive weekend next weekend at Dundee and Manchester. So how important are those games going to be coming up?
Yeah, and I think that it's important that consistency is something that we've struggled with from game to game, within games, even within periods. So for us, rather than looking ahead at the weekend, we have Cardiff coming up, a team we've competed with pretty well this season. It's always tough down there, but we've actually pushed them right to the brink a number of times. I think that we need to go down there with a little bit of self-belief and do that again.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
Cheers.